Hello, Scrabble here, and today I'm coming at you with a review of Disgaea 1 Complete on the Nintendo Switch. Now, if you've seen my reviews before, you know that I like to start them off with an anecdote about how the game is connected to my own gaming history. I don't actually have a connection like that for Disgaea. It's just not a game that connects to my history in any meaningful way. You know, I first bought Disgaea for the PS2 in a used game shop well after its release. I enjoyed the story I encountered, but quickly fell off track as I found the item world. I did nothing but play the item world for 40 hours. Then I stopped playing when I found another game to play. Disgaea was ported to the PSP with even more content that I would never reach. I bought it again. It was on a portable this time. I was bound to get through it, right? Nope. As soon as I found the item world, I did nothing but play the item world for 40 hours. Then I stopped playing when I found another game to play. Disgaea was ported again to the DS. I bought it again, and you know how this turned out. So when NIS America sent me a review copy of Disgaea 1 Complete, I was pumped. Would I finally finish the fight? Or would I get sucked into the item world once more and not be able to pull myself out of this black hole? The story of Disgaea is absolutely adorable and engrossing. You follow the story of Laharl, son of the king of the Netherworld. The king passed away 2 years ago, but Laharl has been sleeping the whole time and didn't know. Now the Netherworld is in flux as many vie for the position of Overlord. Laharl, his friends, and his vassals must re-cement his position as Overlord, and they just might learn something about love and friendship along the way. I found the story to be interesting. It really kept me moving forward, despite the many distractions the game provides along the way. I kept a concerted effort this time through the game to keep the story moving so that I could finally reach the end. The story becomes sufficiently epic along the way as the tale encompasses the politics of hell, heaven, and even the earth. The dialogue is well written, sharp, and effective. Characters all keep their basic molds and show character growth. I was especially impressed with the first vassal Laharl meets, Etna. Her growth throughout the game is substantial. The game includes Etna's story, which can be played after the main story is complete. This mode was first added for the PSP port of the game, and it's still available. I didn't have time to complete it, but I do look forward to coming back and playing it in the future. The gameplay systems are where Disgaea really shines. This game is famous for featuring systems on systems on systems. You don't need to dive in to finish the main story if you don't want to. On its surface, Disgaea is a tactical RPG. You deploy your characters and move them around on a grid-based map that contains enemies. Deploy up to 10 characters at a time on a map, or as few as 1. Kill all the enemies on the map and you win. It's that easy. The maps often contain colored squares as well, with special objects on some of the squares that give a passive effect to those squares. Now that sounds super confusing, and in reality it's a little confusing too and takes a while to get used to. The effect the objects might give you include things like an extra attack or bonus defense, or maybe something that hurts your characters every single time they end a turn or begin a turn standing on these tiles. Every effect like this doesn't just impact you, but also impacts your enemies. You can destroy these objects, change the panel colors, even remove the colors entirely. This system can make maps really feel unique and often add a bit of a puzzle element. How can you destroy the objects that boost your enemy's power before they use that power to destroy you? These things come up, and it's really where a lot of the strategy is. Now let's talk about leveling. If you like gaining levels, this is definitely the game for you. Are you feeling weak? You can enter your equipment and consumables and defeat stages inside to level them up. Also increases their power along the way, of course. While you're in there, you can defeat enemies that represent stat bonuses to increase the bonuses. And once defeated, you can combine them into stronger bonuses or move them onto other equipment. The sky is the limit. While you're fighting, you'll automatically be leveling up your weapon skills, which make your characters more proficient with their weapons and enable them to use better skills and deal more damage. Are you using skills during combat? If so, the skills are leveling up too. That not only increases their damage output, but also increases their cost. The whole time you're leveling up your characters, which enables you to create stronger versions of those characters. While you shop, you're leveling up the shop too. There's so many different ways in this game to become powerful and level up. It's really easy to forget the story and become enamored in any one of them. Now, unique to Disgaea is the Demon Senate system. If you think the enemies are too weak, you can petition the Senate to make them make them stronger. Think the items in the shop are too weak? Petition the Senate to make them more costly and stronger. Want to engage in post-game content? That is also tied to bills you're going to need the Senate to pass. And if you can't get enough done in the Senate, try a promotion exam to level up your Senate rank. All of this adds up to ensuring you are never left with a stage that's too hard and nothing to do. I played through almost the entire game with Laharl solo. He was over-leveled, wiped the floor every map. I had a ton of fun doing this. But if you want a real challenge, the game would be quite tough if you never stopped to grind. It's likely you've played or experienced Disgaea in some way before. If so, you likely just want to know what differences exist with those versions. This one looks nicer, and it's on the Switch PS4. That's about it. I was hoping the game would be ported into the Disgaea 5 Complete engine and contain a lot of the newer quality of life features that were added in Disgaea 5. It doesn't. The game looks and sounds amazing. That's enough for me, but it might not be enough for you. The performance on the Switch was amazing. There were no slowdowns or drop frames that I noticed. The game looked and sounded great. Loading times were minimal. It should be expected, but I enjoyed my time with the game more on the Switch than on any other systems I previously owned. I believe all the graphics were redone in the newer engine to finally be truly HD. I really enjoyed Disgaea. I played the whole game for about 18 hours. I completed the story, mainly just soloing as Laharl the whole way through, like I mentioned. Since I've only had the game for a week, I didn't have the time to play Etna's mode or much of the post-game at all. Some people might find this concerning since the post-game is really where most of the game is for Disgaea fans, but I felt like I was able to form a solid opinion along the way. I enjoyed my time with Disgaea 1 Complete. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I prefer the deeper systems of Disgaea 5 Complete, which is also on the Switch, but the story is better here. You likely already know if Disgaea is for you, but if you have enjoyed it before, you'll love it here. If you've never played Disgaea before, then now is a perfect time to jump in. Disgaea releases for Switch and PS4 on October 9th and is available for pre-order on the eShop. If you've enjoyed this review, go ahead and hit that like button if you would like to be informed of more reviews or any of the other content that I create, and I do create a fair amount of content. Then go ahead and subscribe. It helps out the channel quite a bit. You can comment on this video, you could share the video. I love talking to people down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.